Speaker 2, Rich Gierman, The Power of a Word. The Power of a Word. Rich Gierman.
I have a disease. Disease. That's one of those words of power. Something about it causes almost an autonomic reaction in you. If someone says, "I'm sick," you're likely to say, "That's too bad. I hope you'll feel better in a couple of days." If somebody says, "I have an illness," you might say, "Gee, have you seen a good doctor for that?" It may take a while, but I'm sure you'll get over it. But disease, it's one of those things that makes your gut curdle. When they reach out to shake your hand, you want to feel like pulling your hand away. You want to turn your face and cover your mouth. I don't want it. Don't give it to me. My disease is hepatitis C. There are an estimated 4 million cases of hep C in the U.S. today, with an additional 180,000 new cases being diagnosed every year. That's 4 times as many cases as there are of AIDS. Hepatitis C is frequently called the silent killer. It's very odd because it can lay dormant after your first exposure for sometimes 10 or even 20 years before it starts to destroy your liver. Left untreated, after a while, you get to a point where you either need a liver transplant, or even more fun, you develop liver cancer. It's not pretty. I probably got it from a contaminated blood transfusion in 1978. They didn't start screening the blood supply until 1992. And in 1978, they didn't even have a name for it. It was referred to as non-A, non-B hepatitis. In June of 2000, I gave blood at work. And 3 weeks later, I got a letter from the Red Cross. They said, "You've been exposed to the hepatitis C virus. Don't donate any more blood. We don't want it. Lose your organ donor card. You might want to see your doctor. Oh, and have a nice life." There are some 26 flavors of hepatitis C, and the treatment is a cocktail that consists of interferon and a powerful antiviral agent called ribavirin. Some of those 26 flavors of hep C are more responsive to treatment than others. Some you can get 6, maybe 9 months of treatment and go away and never have to worry about it again. I happen to have type 1A, which is the queen bitch mother of them all. It's very difficult to get rid of, if you can get rid of it at all. The treatment produces symptoms starting with flu-like symptoms. You have trouble sleeping, weight loss. I lost 20 pounds this last year that I was on the treatment. Anemia, depression, and perhaps most disturbing of all, a tendency towards violent action. I was treated in 4 courses of different flavors of interferon from July of 2001 to May of 2007. I experienced all of those symptoms in various degrees and forms. In October and November of 2006, I went to the Toastmasters biannual conference up in San Jose. And I met one of our international directors, a woman by the name of Lauren Kelly. Wonderful woman. Something about Lauren just inspires people to be open. She just draws it out of you. And I found myself sharing a lot of detail about my health with her. She encouraged me. By May of 2007, I had something very much resembling a stroke. Couldn't complete a sentence. Had balance problems, couldn't drive. I was on disability for 2 months. 3 weeks after the stroke, although none of the doctors would actually say it was a stroke, I went to another Toastmaster conference, and I again met up with Lauren Kelly. And during our discussion, she used the word, your adversity. And it was like a bolt of electricity went through me. Adversity, another word of power. I had been feeling, I realized, as if a curse from God had been put upon me, or a death sentence, or something like that. It was not a pretty place to be. But when I heard that word adversity, it was an epiphany. It was a sea change. I realized that this wasn't a curse. It was a challenge. Because an adversity carries with it the implication of something that can be overcome successfully. As the summer progressed, my health began to return. A lot of that had to do with the attitude that I got from hearing that word and that change. And as the universe frequently does, it brought to my attention information I badly needed. The name of a doctor in New York who has been using Chinese herbal therapy to treat hepatitis C. The focus is not to get rid of the virus, but to keep the liver healthy. And 6 weeks after I started the treatment, for the first time in 7 years, my liver enzymes were normal. It's a continuing project. I'm actually motivating my immune system to heal itself by using conscious mental effort. 90% of the success of that is believing it can be done. It can. But it was that word of power that put me on the track to do that. And as Toastmasters, we have those words of power available to us. They are our tools, our stock in trade. And it's up to us to use those words of power to change the world and everybody we meet for the better. Mr. Toastmaster.